Now we know that space in every golfer's bag is limited. I would really encourage most golfers to be carrying the maximum 14 clubs. If you're not carrying 14 clubs, potentially you're missing out on an advantage of having maybe an extra wedge in your bag, maybe an extra hybrid club or fairway wood in your bag. And if you're playing with 10, 11 clubs and there's somebody out on the golf course playing with 14 clubs, you're already giving them a bit of an advantage because they can hit shots that you would have to manufacture. They can just stand there and hit the normal swing. You've got to manufacture it. If you've already got 14 clubs in your bag but you're not getting on with some of them, there is an option that you could look at changing out some of the clubs, so swapping one for another. And the example I've got for you here is I've got the Thomas Golf AT705 Hybrid club. This is one with a pear-shaped back, so the rounded back, but with a really nice alignment line on top. When I look at that in comparison to my 5-iron, I can see that the clubs are the same length. They have roughly the same loft on the top. And if you're looking down at a 5-iron or a 4-iron at the moment and you're thinking, you know what, I don't really fancy the look of this, I'm not striking it particularly well, I'm not hitting it very nicely consistently, maybe swapping for a hybrid club would be suitable. So any of your long irons that you struggle with, Thomas Golf make a hybrid club that's suitable for that. So this is the 5 version, that's why it's comparable to my 5-iron. So 5-iron, 27 degrees of loft with a 5 written on the back. So it's about the same loft as a 5-iron, same shaft length. Now we've got a lightweight graphite shaft in this one, and the profile of the head means a lot of the weight is low down and deep in the club face. So it's designed to slide through the grass. The weight at the bottom of the club head will pop the ball up in the air. We can see the curved sole here. It doesn't want to dig into the ground quite as much. We wouldn't necessarily want to be taking big chunky divots. Generally when I hit a 5-iron off the turf, I'd be taking a big divot with a downward strike. A hybrid golf club works much better with a slightly shallower angle of attack, just sliding through the grass, just brushing the leaves of the grass and picking the ball off the surface. So we know the clubs measure the same in the static positions. They've got the same amount of loft as each other and the same length as each other. And if you look at the chart below this video, you'll actually see that Thomas Golf recommend that a 5 hybrid is comparable to a 5-iron, hence the numbering system. But now the real proof of the pudding is actually in hitting the 2 shots. I want to be able to make sure that this club is going to perform in a suitable fashion before I make the change and swap it into my bag. So I've got the alignment line pointing where I want the ball to go. My feet are parallel to the alignment line as well. Make a nice swing. It's a nice high ball flight, beautiful high ball flight. It's quite long. Now I'm looking for how far that goes, and I've got a measurement down there. I've already hit quite a few shots down there. I've got a measurement down there around about 185. Now I know how far I hit my 5-iron. And as you would think it would be, it's about 185. Like I suggested, the length of the clubs are the same, the loft on the club faces are the same, the performance of the golf clubs are going to be quite similar. The major difference mainly is that the 5-iron doesn't necessarily look as confidence-giving behind the golf ball. The sweet spot is a little bit smaller, and I'd be trying to take a divot and cut down into this a little bit more as I hit it. Slightly lower ball flight out there, but it's going to be very similar distance as those 2 balls land down there. They're 2 pretty good shots within 5 yards of each other. So the performance is there for you, that the length of the club dictates how far the ball goes. The profile of the head gives me a bit more confidence with this club. The line on the top gives me a bit more confidence with this club as well. And if I wasn't very confident hitting my longer irons, maybe that would be a worthwhile swap. So if you're feeling that the 3, 4, 5-iron in your bag aren't flying very well, not giving you a great deal of confidence, then use the table below to work out which Thomas Golf AT705, which is the rounded profile head, work out which hybrid club it would be worthwhile swapping. If you've already got a couple of hybrid clubs in your bag and you're liking them and you're hitting them well, maybe consider that you don't have to stop with your long irons. Maybe you could go down through the bag, 6-iron, 7-iron, 8-iron, putting in the more lofted hybrid clubs. Like we said, the performance in the sole plate, that it doesn't dig into the turf, the weight is low and deep, the ball flight is high, the confidence is there in the setup, and the line on the back gives you the direction to the hole. Maybe changing down, looking through the chart, which club would I need to order if I'm not getting on with that particular iron. Maybe that would give you a bit more confidence right the way through the bag with the Thomas Golf AT705 hybrids.